Am I the butthole for pressing charges? My cousin turned 18 recently. She's in high school. She doesn't have a car, and during her birthday weekend, thought her parents were going to buy her one. They didn't get her one and she was pretty upset. I should note that I'm not very close with my cousin. Or the rest of my extended family for that matter. I only heard about this through the grapevine from my dad. Anyway, my cousin texts me on the Friday before her birthday asking if she can take my car. I just leased a new Ford Escape, to the mall and then for an out-of-town road trip with her friends over the weekend. I tell her no. She begs and pleads with me. I tell her no again. My car is for me to drive and for me only. If she wants her own car, she can save up and buy one. She calls me a bitch and says that I ruined her birthday and that she's embarrassed because her friends think she got a car for her birthday and she doesn't have one. I don't respond to her and think nothing of it. The weekend comes and I sleep in very late on that Saturday, waking up at 1 p.m, don't judge lol. Even though my car is parked in my driveway and my gate is closed, I come to realize that someone egged and TP'd my car. With many eggs and 5 to 6 rolls of TP. And since the weather was warm outside, the raw egg baked into my car, along with the dried up toilet paper, destroying the paint. Since I have security cameras around my house, I decide to go back and watch. At around 9:30ish that morning, I see my cousin and a bunch of her stupid friends vandalizing my car. I'm surprised she didn't smash the windows and poke holes in the tires too. To save my post from the 3,000 character limit, I obviously pressed charges and my cousin is in legal trouble. Her and her parents are pissed off at me for pressing charges, her parents telling me that she's just a kid and that she's been through a lot of emotional stress doing virtual schooling for this past year and that I should take that into consideration, and that I should be ashamed of myself for pressing legal charges against my baby cousin, that I'm almost 30 and don't I remember what I was like at that age? I do remember, and I wasn't stupid enough to egg anyone's car, and can't she work something out with me like doing chores around my house for money if I drop the charges? That she's young, that she doesn't need a felony on her record, etc., and that it was just a prank. Right after I pressed charges, my cousin was calling and texting me over and over saying that this could have been avoided had I let her take my car. Am I the butthole in this situation? I need to add that my cousin already has a felony on her record, a DUI. She's not remorseful of anything. Also, my aunt and uncle will not pay me for the damages. They just want me to drop the charges and pay for everything myself like nothing happened. They are cheap. NTA. Sure, you could have spoken with them first before pressing charges, but that last sentence was very telling. That she would text you and basically retroactively threaten you to let her take the car or she'd vandalize it says a lot about her character, and she'd probably have charges pressed against her at some point in the future anyway. Hopefully she learns a lesson to avoid that happening again. Also, chores around the house to make up for it? It's called community service ordered by the judge. Chores around the house for money no less. Not sure in what world we reward vandals with jobs for ruining other people's stuff. I was thinking that part of the payment would go to repairs. But I wouldn't let such vandal anywhere near my house, to be honest. Also, I clean my own house so I have money for the things I want. If I have to pay someone to clean it so they can turn around and pay me for property they destroyed, that's just me losing money on a housekeeper but with extra steps. It's actually much worse, because I'll have to supervise and nag and deal with things that never get clean like I want. This business of paying kids for chores that you were never going to pay someone to do in the first place is for the birds. If original post had her pay it off by doing chores, I'm betting all my $5 she'd be maliciously misplacing stuff and hiding it, at best, since she doesn't seem repentant. NTA, please update us as well. I want to hear her suffering the consequences of her actions. If Op's cousin ever says this could have been avoided if original post lent her the car, tell the cousin's parents this could have been avoided if they had bought her a car, thus leaving the blame where it belongs, on her parents for being cheap, and yet managing to raise an entitled brat. Tell them all of this could have been avoided if they used a condom. Doubling down and upping the ante. Nice. Thanks for the laugh first thing in the morning. Parents who don't buy cars for their kids are cheap? Op's cousin's parents definitely are. If they promised and set the expectations that their beloved child is going to get a car, then cheapened out by not doing it. In my opinion, if the kid wants a car, they get a job and don't get the car till they earn enough to buy a clunker and pay for insurance, gas. This teaches accountability, responsibility, and the value of the almighty dollar, which only happens when a person has to earn something versus having it handed to them. I doubt they did. All original post said was that cousin thought she was getting a car. Given her sense of entitlement, she probably demanded her parents buy her one, not that they promised her one. It feels like her reaction here was overboard to not getting it though, and I don't feel like the parents were overly shocked by her actions. I was very disappointed to not get a car at 16, but did I expect it? No. Did I ransack anything? Nope, moved on. Her reaction is one of defiance to not getting her end of the bargain, whether it was expressed or implied. Same, but we're reasonable people. This girl clearly isn't. I'm not sure about her parents. A shocking amount of people seem to believe that a person who snitches or even simply fails to cover or enable is the sole party responsible for the butthole receiving consequences for their own actions. The parents are definitely one of those, and rest assured I look down on them for it, but it could go either way as proof that they've made the monster, so to speak. I doubt they did. It sounds a lot like she has expectations based on her friendship group. When I was a teen, I had a friend whose parents promised him a car for his 18th birthday, and got him a Hot Wheels. His parents thought it was funny, but my friend was pissed. He didn't vandalize anybody's car over it, but there was some yelling involved. That's pretty crafty, to be honest. It is really crafty. There are some people who think it is fun to get somebody's expectations up, crush them, and then laugh at the reaction. Obviously, one should not respond to such a situation with a crime. Yet I would understand if the toy car ended up lodged in an uncomfortable place. This would have been avoided if they had not raised an entitled little prick, to be honest. NTA, I would have considered dropping the charges if parents had offered to pay for the repairs in full and then some, but like that? Nah. And household chores? As if that young woman would set foot in my house for the foreseeable future. This could have been avoided if they brought up a child to not think she has a given right. I hope she does too. I'm just shocked, why the parents didn't offer to repair the car since it's their kid, or why is she angry at you and not her parents? You know, for not buying the car. She can't vandalize her parents' car because then she would lose her support group. Imagine pissing off the potential car buying people in your life. Of course you're going to direct your anger at the next selfish person that didn't bend the knee to your demands. Well, little princess here just got a good taste of being 18. A stained record that will stain her chances at getting a scholarship/good job. Welcome to adulthood, baby. Because why pay for repairs when you can bully a family member into dropping the charges? She got her attitude and entitlement somewhere, and I can tell you where, laughing out loud. When he can save his daughter's life by paying for the repair and asking to drop the charges, he chose the other way. Yes, original post, please keep us updated about what happens. NTA, yes, please keep us updated. Also, are the friends that helped also on the hook? Remind me. 14 days. NTA, I was just a kid once and didn't egg anything. Also, ruined paint on a vehicle isn't something one works off with chores. It's something one gets a job and pays for with money. Agree, ask the parents to pay for the repair and let the cousin work their chores, laughing out loud. NTA, what ask? Sue them all in small claims court for damages and restoration. Edited, adding not the butthole, of course. And to say okay, not all of them. Just the dumb idiot vandal. Of course your insurance may cover everything except for deductible, in which case sue for the deductible. Small claims. Repainting a car will be at least 3 digits. Easily 4. Yeah, but small claims limits can range from $5,000 to $15,000. Edit, I guess I just assumed that by listing a range of limits, I did not have to explicitly specify that it varies by state. I figured most people would be smart enough to understand that. Oh, okay. I'm not from America, I didn't expect the range to be that big. Neither did 1 and 1M in America. I thought small claims awards went up to $5,000. It varies by state. I have dealt with vandalism through the police, no need for small claims, they will pursue her, issue a warrant, and she will be responsible for all damages and paying it back. There was jail time involved for the person who destroyed my partner's vehicle, and they are on probation that only ends when they pay the damages off. If they do not, they will be in even more trouble. Can't see the parents anymore, cousin is an adult. Sorry, but? This. Plus, honestly, after this stunt, if I were original post, there is no way I'd trust this cousin into my house. She's done it once, who's to say she won't do some other petty crap again when you're not looking? So no, we can't work something out with chores. She's 18. She's not just a kid, she's an adult. Right. I turn 18 in a month. If I were to egg somebody's car because I was throwing a tantrum, my parents would beat my ass so fast and tell me I deserve any charges they pressed. That's the way it should be. And let's be honest, we would all know this is wrong at least 10 years before we turn 18. Her parents are clear enablers who condone this sort of thing. She could equally complain that if her parents had bought her a car, it wouldn't have happened either. It's all equally BS, and I'd be getting that footage to the police and providing them with the names of the friends who helped her too. Oh, I was a kid once and egged stuff, informal tradition here on Halloween, but believe me if I say I had deserved to be held accountable for it. Also, that was like at age 12 to 14, not effing 18, laughing my butt off. I agree, don't get me wrong, but I would consider not pressing charges on the basis that her parents figure out a payment plan. It's up to them to parent her how they want. For example, she does chores for them to pay them back the money, or she gets a job to pay herself, but parents make damn sure she's paying. I think a lot of young people are over-criminalized, and I'd factor that in. But it would be with a strict, clear offer and a notarized contract with her parents, and no alternative besides continuing with charges. Cousin is a total 100%, and deserves the charges if she and her parents won't take responsibility. The parents aren't even entertaining the possibility of a payment plan if they're not even willing to treat the situation as seriously as it needs to be considered. Just a kid behavior would be if the cousin was 6 and spilled a drink on the interior. This is malicious vandalism, and that this wouldn't have happened if you had let me use the car message clearly amplifies the fact that the cousin knew what she was doing. This is the big part. The cousin wasn't saying how sorry she was that the car was ruined, she didn't realize eggs would do that, etc. She's standing by her decision and trying to blame original post somehow, that if she'd be lent the car, none of this would not have happened. Not that if she made better choices, then she wouldn't be dealing with the legal system. NTA op. The cousin is an abuser in the making. I feel bad for her future partners. I'd agree with you about that if this were for a younger teen, but the cousin is legally an adult. And it's not like she stole a loaf of bread because she was hungry, she damaged another person's property because she didn't get her way. Leniency should be reserved for when the person shows true remorse for their actions and learns from their mistake, not for when their comeback is to blame the victim for not giving them their way to begin with. Also, she seems kind of like a spoiled brat. Letting her off the hook could very easily show her she can get away with behaving badly, and she won't have a reason to change. I agree with this in theory, but being as even with looming criminal charges, the cousin is still blaming original post instead of taking some responsibility. If the police aren't enough to make her see she's done wrong, some chores, and her parents paying off her mistakes aren't going to do anything other than let her think she can carry on doing as she pleases. Her parents would just pay the money and the cousin wouldn't face any consequences. All that would teach the cousin is that she can do whatever she likes and her parents will just bail her out. Especially since the leasing company will consider that excessive wear if not fixed before the vehicle is turned in. No matter how you cut it, original post is going to end up paying for cousin's temper tantrum. NTA. 18 is old enough to know better. Ruined paint on a leased vehicle, no less. Original post has to return this car in a couple years, and it needs to be in good condition. NTA, op. NTA. Your cousin is a gaping butthole for blaming you, and her parents are buttholes for enabling her BS. Press charges and make her pay for the damage. Yeah, this is the craziest bit to me. An 18-year-old can be a bit ridiculous, but the parents effectively condoning it is bonkers. If I did that, my dad would have made lick the egg off the car and then pay for the new paint job. Wild. Haha, lick the egg off. That made me crack up. Careful not to get too egg-cited. This is no joking matter. These puns are excellent. They're too egg-ricious for my taste. but to each their own. That's too extreme. Like walking on shells. Exquisite puns indeed. Very often in life you meet a raging dickhead and wonder why they're like that, then you meet their parents and it all clicks. Skeptical enabling is a hell of a drug. I often see people arguing about whether 18 is too young to be making good decisions, and it's usually about them being in a relationship with someone who's like 28 or older. In that case, they are a kid and easily manipulated. In this case, she's so obviously an adult. Like, 4-year-olds know not to do this. Add to that how deliberate and spiteful it all was. Cousin is such an awe, and parents are showing exactly why with their continued crafty parenting. I understand not wanting her to have a police record, but in that case they should be begging Original Post to let them first sort it out with money and possibly other favors if relevant. I accept payment in chocolate personally, but maybe a tank of gas or a car wash would be nice a couple months after it's all fixed. And second, they deal with their daughter properly and without Original Post needing to be involved or blamed. Poor op, I'd be furious. That text from the cousin, saying all of this could have been avoided if she had just been lent op's car, that's both a confession, and provides she had every intent to do it. Add in the security footage and she put her own nails in her coffin. Honestly, you'd think if you were going to do something like this, you would try to do something to get away with it. She really isn't smart. If she vandalized op's car for not letting her borrow it, I wonder what she did to her parents for not buying her one. NTA. If she has a DUI already, I wonder what she would have done to op's car if she'd been allowed to borrow it. She's just a kid and she's been under stress is literally not an excuse for her trashy behavior. If those parents did their job right and actually parented their demon spawn, this wouldn't have happened. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.